Hi everybody, Gwen Lawrence here, and you are joining me for Power Yoga for Sports, training kits, soccer edition, and more specifically, yoga poses for position players. Okay, don't be afraid to check out all the videos. You're going to find value in all of them, but specifically this is going to be my top picks for yoga poses for position players and their needs to prevent injury and keep balance in the body. Okay, we're going to do each move and each pose in this series for 2 minutes. So I recommend you have a stopwatch, use your phone. Let's get right to it. If you're hot stuff, you can do it even longer, but at least getting 2 minutes. We're going to start on your hands and knees for pigeon pose. Okay, you could start in down dog 2. We're going to bring the left leg forward first. Now, couple of things before we start the timer. Left leg is forward, hips are in center. It's very tempting to tip over and be on your hip. That's only going to knock the alignment in your back. You're in center. Unless, here's the kicker, you have knee problems in that left knee. We start with the left leg forward. Okay, if you have pins, plates, screws, staples in that knee or any kind of injury, you can go on that hip, but your body is still going to twist straight forward. Okay? Otherwise, we're right in center. Okay? Nice and tall, get length in the back, and then start to walk it out. Now, 2 minutes for pigeon, you're going to learn in time is not much, and you're probably going to want to increase this time. You could do this video over and over, or you can write down the poses and just use your stopwatch. Ultimately, all the way down to the ground, chest and belly on a block or the floor, and your head must rest. I want your chin straight down, but I'm just going to talk to you for a bit. You're going to feel that deep glute, so we're going to get more power to push off. We're going to help your running form. If you don't feel enough of a stretch, move your left foot forward until it's right under your right armpit someday. May take 2 years, may take 2 weeks. It's up to your hip. Okay, but just sit here, sink in. Pigeon becomes a favorite. It hurts so good. The longer you hold it, you will be able to start to sink into. Release the tension in the belly, in the jaw. There's a lot of fear, anxiety, stress stored in the hips. So it's a really good pose to do anyway. The more open and flexible the hips are, the less potential energy forced into the knee. So we're going to reduce some knee injuries by keeping the hips flexible in every direction. Some of you will probably look very high initially like this. That's fine. With time and attention and practice, you'll get low and sink in. Okay, we're going to start to walk up. Palms flat, tuck the back toe under, lift the back leg up, and slowly press back into downward facing dog. Okay, you want to give that left knee and hip some time to realign. And we're going to bring the right leg forward. And do it on the other side. Okay? So depending on your dominant side, that side probably will be a little tighter. For me, it is this right side. Remember, body is square in center unless you have right knee issues. Coming all the way down. I feel the difference already. And resting the head, the belly, the jaw. Sinking in. A bonus here is you're getting the left hip flexor as well while you get the right hip. If you find that hip flexor is something you really need to focus on, rather than deep glute, you could stay upright and really press the hips forward and work the hip flexor. Going down will be deep right glute. Do both of them if you want. You can't go wrong. If you need to choose, I would say all the way down for glute, just to keep some stress and tension off the knees. just noticed I was gripping in my hips. I just noticed I was gripping in my core. And that's the beauty of holding these poses for a long time. There I go again, letting go. Don't clamp down on your jaw. That will only increase the tension in the hips. If you can't reach the floor with your head, use a block or a towel, bolster. And then go ahead and bring it up nice and slow. Tuck the back toe. Again, palms flat. Press it into downward facing dog. Alternate calf stretch. And coming on to the knees. Okay, so foot health is super important for soccer players. We're going to focus on hero's pose, toes tucked. Okay, now you might want to block if this is excruciating for you. I'm going to turn around, show you. You want the heels straight up to the sky, and you want to try to get all 5 toes in time. Okay, and you're going to sit back onto the heels. You want the shoulders over the hips in time. It might be really hard for you and you might have to be here, but know that these are a small muscle group. They're going to open a lot quicker than those deep glutes, hamstrings, and quads. But a lot of my pro athletes hate this one. You could find it just terrorizing. It's going to reduce plantar fasciitis problems. It's going to reduce turf toe problems. It's going to give you more flexibility in the foot, the toes, and the ankles. So you're going to have more power to push off. You're going to be more fluid in your movement and just make you an overall better, more efficient runner and athlete. If it's good, you can always go back, but you want to tuck the tailbone under if that happens. You can go all the way to the forearms. I ran yesterday. My quads are a little tight, so sometimes I can go to the forearms and sometimes I can't. It just is what it is. As long as you're feeling a stretch and you're breathing, you're good. So this is hero's pose, toes tucked. Feel that whole arch open up and get a deep stretch. Achilles tendon, calf, bottoms of the toes. Anybody involved in running in their sport really needs to consider doing this 2 to 3 times a week. Last 10 seconds, you're almost there. Okay, start to bring it forward. Onto your hands and knees and uncurl the toes. You have a little bonus in this video because we're going to do hero's pose, toes untucked now. Okay? Untuck, same thing. Go back. This is level 1. If you have knee issues, historically, you're working slowly to open the knees, roll up a mat or towels behind the knees and come back. That'll reduce some of the deep flexion of the knee, even though it's a natural flexion of the knee. Okay? Coming back here. If this is good, separate the feet and start to settle in between. You may need to sit on a towel or a block. And we'll start the timer. We're going to get, first line here of stretch is the ankle. Some of you will look like this. We want to get the top of the ankle open. Some of you will start to feel quads here. There is a variation where you recline, but that gets a little bit in a different area and kind of lays off the depth of stretch. So I want you, for our purposes, to stay upright. You can play around with how far apart or close the knees are for your comfort. There should never be searing or knifing pain in the knees here. Just stretch in the quads and the ankles. So, one also non-negotiable is the bottom of the foot must be pointing straight up to the sky at all times. I do not want the toes pointing out to the side. That is very, very hard on the knee. especially the medial knee, don't do it. I would rather you be out of the pose a little bit than changing the direction of the toes. We want them pointing straight back, bottoms of the feet up to the sky. That was 1 minute. You can roll the shoulders up, back down. You can bring the arms behind your back, grab opposite elbow if you want to just get some shoulders too. Soccer players are running forward a lot, so it's nice to have a little back open extension. You could do some neck rolls just to pass the time. You could put your favorite song on. Release the arms if you're there. Extend them out in front. Deep breath in. Use your hands. Slowly come onto your hands and knees. So we want to give the knees, the ankles a little time to realign. Get the blood flow. You can cat-cow here. You can rock the feet a little bit. Whatever feels right. Okay, another way to get groin work and outer hip work is diamond pose. Come to seated. Bring your feet out in front of you enough that you see a nice diamond shape in the inner edges of your legs. Hence, diamond pose, right? Okay, so if you're like this, like in the seated twist we did in our moves, you could sit on a block. I prefer to sit on a block anyway because it gives me the feeling that I'm going downhill and I'm efforting less in my hold. Okay, so have another block nearby because you're going to bring it forward and resting the head on a block. You could be here, you could be on 6 blocks. Eventually, you'll be all the way down. As you hold the pose, you'll sink in and maybe you won't need the block anymore. Reach the arms forward so you get more depth of stretch and just feel that outer glute, inner thigh, belly soft, head heavy. Try to resist less. Once your head starts to feel heavy wherever you initially put it, maybe that means you can go a little deeper now. Oh my goodness, more than halfway already. 45 seconds. Roll it up. Those deep holds take time to get into. You don't just want to pop up out of them. You want to take your time. Bring your legs together. Maybe hug the knees into the chest a little bit. Okay, and last yoga pose for position players in soccer is going to be standing forward bend. Set the feet, hips width apart, parallel. Start with a little bend in the knee, extend the back, grab opposite elbow, and hang it over. Sway the back. Let the arms and head weigh you over. You could even straighten one leg at a time. Hamstrings, hamstrings, hamstrings. On the inhale, get length in the spine. On the exhale, just get depth. You want to be right in the middle of your foot. So in order to open up the hamstrings, you don't want to be super far back in the heels. That kind of slams the brakes on the hamstrings. Be right in the middle, right before you want to grip the toes. That's too far forward. Just hold, giving them time to let go. Release the hands and then come down to seated. Sorry I wasn't talking to you there. I got into a little bit of a trance. So hopefully you'll get so comfortable there that'll happen to you too. All right, so those are our top yoga poses for soccer players and more specifically position players. We had pigeon pose on each leg. We had heroes, toes tucked and untucked, diamond pose, and standing forward bend. Try to do these 2 to 3 times a week. Do the best you can. If you're really good, add time, but be consistent. Don't forget to check out all the videos in this training kit. I think you're going to benefit from them all no matter what position you are. Be great, and I'll see you next time.